Hey, what is going on, guys? My name's Altra, and I am sick as hell. Really. Like, the nose, the mouth, the body. It does not want to function right now. But, oh god. As I was saying, before my body rudely interrupted me, I am dying. But that's okay, because I want to play video games, and I want to play it fun without dying. So today we're playing another game from itch.io because I love itch.io, and this is another horror themed game that is called The Horns. Supposedly it's a game that's being ported to mobile, but there is a computer version first. So yes, fun stuff. I agree. Yes, yes. Made by the developer Fluttermind on itch.io. Link will be in the description for you to play it for yourself if you enjoy it. But anywho, aside from that, I don't know anything about this game aside from you are trying to get to the horns. So let's touch to play and begin. Chapter 0, Awakening. You're lying on a dirt floor in the dark. You do not recall how you came to be here. Ahead, you can see a 5-foot rectangular shape outlined in dim purple light. Something glints on the ground by your foot. Examine the glint or touch the rectangle. Wait. Okay, 5-foot rectangular shape outlined in a dim purple light. I guess touch the rectangle, why not? You hear a metallic rattle, a door perhaps? Exploring the surface, you feel a slot. A keyhole? You can hear something moving on the other side of the door. There's a glint in the mulch nearby. No, screw that glint. I don't want to know about your special glinty rocks. So we're just gonna keep going. You shut the door with your hands, then your shoulder. Boom! The door moves slightly, but remains firm. Bash the door down! You run at the door. BAM! There's a bright burst of pain as your shoulder connects and a metal... There's a bright burst of pain as your shoulder connects and a metallic clang as the lock bursts. Go through. Door opens easily, allowing a cold, damp breeze to fill the room. Slimy cobbles mark a path leading into the fog towards a distant purple glow. The ground begins to shake. The sound of distant horns fill the air, echoing around you. It is louder than anything you have ever heard. Listen closely or plug your ears. If I listen closely, my ears will probably explode if it's louder than anything I have ever heard. And I have heard things that are very loud. So I'm gonna plug my ears. You try to block out the sound, you can still hear it. It's so loud your teeth rattle in your skull. That is disgusting. Eventually the ground stops shaking and you drop your hands from your head. You can still hear the last of the horns blare, fading to silence. You feel as if you ignored a call to prayer, to sanctuary. Tears well up in your eyes. Somehow those horns represent your one hope of survival, and you must find them. You must. Yeah, I guess we'll move on. Purple light is getting closer, then a sound nearby. A footfall? Close. Very close. A movement in the mist to your right. Something has found you. A figure approaches you out of the gloom. He is a balding young man. You realize that he, too, seeks the horns. Wordlessly, he joins you. Chapter 1, The Village. You move on towards the horns. What is this skull? That's dangerous. The path had angles downward as you crest a hill. You can hear the sea somewhere to your left, far off in the gloom. Looking ahead, you can see the outlines of sagging buildings and occasionally a light. Is it a village? A bonfire nearby burns with a purple flame. You can hear soothing whispers from its glow. Move on or rest? We need to get to those horns. Let's move on. You move on towards the horns. You can hear the sea again. Waves slosh against jetty pinions somewhere nearby. As you approach, you can make out what looks like a moldering fishing boat moored into one of the capstans. Moored to one of the capstans? Oh, okay, so tied up to the... yeah. Nets hang over the boat's side like cobwebs, and a large plank leads from the jetty to the deck. You wonder if the vessel might be a good place to hole up for a while and recover. But it's not our boat. Yeah, like, it's not... there's nothing that says that it's, you know, abandoned or anything like that. So let's move on. You move on towards the horns. An angular structure made of looms out of the fog. not made out of wood looms. It takes a few moments before you realize it's a cart. As you reach the front, you see the skeletal remains of a large horse. On top of the cart lie the remains of a man and woman. They are withered husks, their skin leathery and dark. The woman's left hand grips a rusty key. Yeah, let's take it, why not? The woman's hand crackles as you remove the object and place it in your pack. You let the hand fall stiffly back to where it lay and walk on. You move on towards the horns. Ahead, you see the slatted side of a wooden building. The roof is rotted and sags alarmingly. One half of the structure has collapsed. A fallen sign nearby says, Genera Goods. So General Goods, maybe? A door stands closed and ineffective next to a large hole in the wall. As you watch, another tile clatters to the floor inside. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go in. You walk through the hole, not wishing to make the structure any more unstable by using the door. Inside, rust or rot has claimed anything that might have been of use to you. However, against one wall, under a section of rotten roof timbers, lies a lantern. With a creak, the structure shifts, visibly. Yeah, take the item, why not? After claiming the object, you begin to make your way out. The ground heaves and you plunge downward as the rotten timbers collapse under your weight. You fall into what was presumably the cellar at one point, about 10 foot below the level. It hurts. Yeah, I mean, we don't have any option to leave. You attempt to scramble up the remains of the collapsed flooring. Much of the timber dissolves under your touch, falling apart like sand. Eventually, you manage to find enough stable wood to gain purchase and clamber back onto ground level. A memory! The balding young man tells you part of his memory has returned. He remembers he used to be an archaeologist. Okay. You move on towards the horns. The path turns sharply, and after a few steps you begin to hear the sound of waves breaking on the rocks. Ahead a tower looms up, taller than anything you have seen so far. It takes a few moments for you to realize that it is a lighthouse. The tower's windows are dark at a glance, and a glance upward indicates that the main light is switched off. Nearby, a door clacks idly to and fro in the breeze. Yeah, why not? Let's go in. Our last place that we went into worked out just fine, right? You enter a darkened doorway and kick a path through a junk covering the door. Wan light from outside reveals books and broken crockery, nothing much of obvious use. You can see a door in one wall, presumably leading to a staircase. It is locked and you cannot see a key anywhere obvious. A diesel generator sits silently near one wall. Maybe it still works, or maybe a running generator would draw too much attention to your position. What difference does it make if... Is there somebody who's trying to find me? Is that, like, what's going on here? Or is this guy just overly panicked? You grab the pull start and tug. To your surprise, the generator barks to life after only a half-dozen tries. A caged bulb on the ceiling begins to glow, throwing stark shadows into the corners of the room. You see the gleam of a key on a small table on the far side of the room. Perhaps it would open the door. Your thoughts are interrupted by a shriek from somewhere above. You could try using an object. From a shriek above. Let's leave. The fog seems to devour the light. Something dark moves in front of one of the windows, blocking its glow for a moment, and then it's gone. Combat? What? A formless, many-eyed thing emerges from the gloom and begins to move towards you. Shows potential life loss. Shows potential sanity loss. Use items and survivor abilities to remove these. If you cannot remove all life loss and sanity loss, press the large button at the bottom to end combat, and suffer the consequences. What? Alright, we have a summoning lantern, which is, the metal lantern is made of finely wrought black metal and thin filigreed glass. The guttering purple glow within calls out to you. It will call to others like you. A rusted iron key, the metal is so corroded it looks like it might turn to dust. It will open any lock. Oh wow. Alright, let's try using the summoning lantern. You turn the small knob at the base of the lantern, and the top opens with a creak. A ball of purple light rises into the air, hovers for a moment, and disappears off into the distance. With the final rattle, the lantern falls apart. Oh no, that is not good. That is not good at all. I guess we just have no option but to flee and take damage. The formless, many-eyed thing lunges forward and bites at your shoulder. You flee through the rotten ruins of wooden buildings. Injured and terrified, you eventually escape the thing. When you stop running, you realize the horns are as far away as ever. You move on towards the horns. Something humanoid emerges from the gloom. Another survivor? Maybe they saw the lantern. She's a grim-faced young woman. You realize that she too seeks the horns. Wordlessly, she joins you. You move on towards the horns. You spy a section of old tabloid newsprint fluttering in the breeze. A block of text next or below the photograph of foggy London streets is written, "It's a pea super, all right." The piece states that the city has been experiencing thick fog for many months, with much speculation as to its origin. The article suggests, rather hopefully, that the fog might soon disappear. You drop the paper and move on. You move on towards the horns. You see a cobbled village square. At its center, in wood-painted bone white, it is a gazebo. On a raised dais in the middle is a gramophone. It is playing up-tempo jazz. The sound is somehow distorted. The music raps and shifts, or warps and shifts, broken and uneven. For some reason, the sound fills you with fear. You're about to fear when you hear a smash and a shriek from somewhere up ahead. Something is close. Something inhuman. Enter the gazebo, I guess. Try to ignore the unsettling effects of the music as you run into the gazebo. With your back to the writhing machine, you peer out into the fog, trying to see what caused the noises you heard. The music plays on. You feel a crushing sense of dread. It's all you can do to not run away into the mist. No, we gotta stay here. I can't take another punch into the butthole. You ignore your feelings of terror, stare into the fog. You see something silhouetted against the mist, something large, jittering strangely. The music plays on. Terror engulfs you like a rolling wave. You want to run, you must. You begin to scream, to shout, to claw at your face in terror. As you scream, you glance out into the dark. Through the madness, you realize that the creature has stopped its approach. Does it too feel the effects of this place? The urge to flee is overwhelming. When you are sure the creature is gone, you bolt and run into the fog. You run until you cannot hear the music. You run until you can run no further. Chapter 2. The Fields. Oh god, we got another boss battle somewhere there. You move on towards the horns. The path changes, now no more than a wheel-rutted track leading through a vast plain covered with tall plants. They look like crops. Perhaps this was farm once? Excuse me. Nearby you see a patch of scorched earth. In the center is a bonfire burning with pale purple flame. What's up with these purple flames? You consider whether to rest by the fire for a while or just continue on the path into the fields, into the fog. Let's rest. You sit and close your eyes. You feel the flames wash over you. You open your eyes, the flame is gone. You and your companions feel healthier and calmer. Oh hey, I got health back. That's awesome. Okay, you move on towards the horns. You see a series of white picket spikes. They stick out of the ground at odd angles. This was clearly an animal pen once, back when there were animals. You see a large bulky shape off to your left. A colossal white bull lies on its side. You realize that it is breathing. It is still alive. You see no signs of disease, only a large gash in its flank. The poor beast has fared no better than anyone else. You consider putting him out of his misery. And meat is meat, after all. It's laying on its side. Bulls are a lot like horses, I think. So, I don't think that it's going to survive laying on its side anyways. I don't want to kill it, and I feel like if it's a bull, it might flip out towards me. A large gash in its flank. I'll kill it. It only takes a few blows with the rock. The beast ceases moving. It will never know pain again. You look at the carcass with old pragmatism. A meal might be just what you need, or maybe you should move on. I guess we'll eat it. You know there's no way you can get a fire going now, not in fog's dampness. If you want to eat this beast, it'll have to be raw, as nature intended, you think. Then again, you're not quite sure how appetizing that sounds. Let's just move on. The grin-faced woman tells you part of her memory has returned. She remembers that she used to be Why are they all archaeologists? What the hell? Path leads through a bare field. Up ahead you see a humanoid figure dressed in a ragged suit and sackcloth head. A scarecrow? It must be, but the proportions are unsettling. The limbs are too long and the cocked head seems to stare. What does it sound? I don't like that sound. I really hope that it's just supposed to be like a wagon rolling by. But then perhaps the scarecrow's bulging pockets contain something of use? Yeah, let's search him, why not? Rotted meat? Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, 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 no. That's not good. I don't like that at all. You approach the suited figure. The smell of spoiled meat becomes almost unbearable. You search the various pockets and pat down the straw-filled limbs. The torso, shoulders, and hips seem oddly solid. You touch the head. The soft rip, the sack head's stitched mouth falls open to reveal the moist flesh of a rotten human face. You grit your teeth and finish your search, finding a rope in the inside pocket. Yes, take the object. We've already come this far, why would we leave it now? We've already gone insane from literally sticking our fingers inside of a rotting flesh. Move on. You move on towards the horns. Something flits across your line of sight. A piece of paper? It blows against the side of a nearby fence and sticks there, fluttering, trying to escape. You reach out and grab it. It's a photograph, smooth, damaged, and rain-worn. Most of the red has dulled and only blues remain. There's something special about this picture. Somehow it means something to you. Look closely then. Oh God, excuse me. I told you I'm dying. The photograph shows two figures. One tall and indistinct, the other older and female. Seated in a rocking chair, smiling into the lens. You realize that the taller figure is you. You remember something. You had a family, loved ones, people who cared about you. To your surprise, your reaction is not one of loss or sadness, but anger, rage, and conviction. You will reach the horns. You will survive. And may the heavens have mercy on anything that gets in your way. You feel calmer. Doesn't sound like it, but oh dear. Combat. A rotting bird-like thing emerges from the gloom and begins to move towards you. Use items. Okay. Alright. So. Alright, so this will drop the insanity. You throw the rope at the rotting bird-like thing in order to distract it. It becomes snared up in the coils for a few moments before the rope strands begin to unravel. We're gonna die either way! Yeah, we're dead either way. Flee and take damage. The rotting bird-like thing glides overhead out and slashes you with taloned foot. The last drop of blood leaves your body and your sight dims. Your last thought before you die is that at least you died sane. Fair enough. Judgment. You are dead. You don't say. You died after seeing 10 scenarios. Okay, well that makes sense. At the end, you led 2 living companions. You lost 0 along the way. You fought 2 battles. Play the game again to see more scenarios and learn more about what happened before the fog came. Fancy. Very fancy. Alright, well, that was The Horns. I might actually do a second episode of it and see if we can't get any further, but that's all the time I have for this one, guys. Very, very interesting game. Like I said, I am enjoying it quite a bit. It's different, and I'm going to have to definitely learn to check more areas, because I think that I would have survived that first battle a lot better, and I would have been a lot better off if I would have searched those other areas, rested. Maybe would have come across other people, but I think that I have to find some way to keep my health up more than my sanity, because sanity seems a little bit easier to keep a hold of. And that might change while the game goes on. But anyways, like I said, might try it again, might not. Let me know if you want to see more of it in the comment section below. But thanks guys so much for watching, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Bye!